What's up guys, welcome back to Slammed Shiftboots. Today I'll show you guys how to install your own LED shift boot. I'm going to be installing one on this blue Mark 1 Audi TT. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, welcome into the TT. So today I'm going to be replacing this shift boot. It's been in here for about 2 years now and it's starting to show some wear. There's some dark spots on the suede. Everything else is held up great. But I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it to an LED boot today. So the first step you're going to want to do when you're replacing your shift boot is obviously take the shift boot out and disconnect it from the shift knob. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. So just follow along and pause the video if you need to. Alright, so now that this trim piece is off, I'm going to put it to the side. You're going to need to reuse this, obviously. Now we're going to disconnect the shift boot from the shift knob. You're going to want to turn your shift boot inside out. You'll see where it's connected to the shift knob. Your OEM one will be a little bit different, but however you want, you're going to want to disconnect your boot from your shift knob. Alright, so now I have my boot uninstalled, my reverse lockout and my shift knob, and the original trim piece. So now I'm going to take the new shift boot and I'm going to start installing that. So in your packaging you're going to get your shift boot along with some stickers, the LED lights and zip ties. Your first step though is going to be installing one of these stickers. So you're going to peel the back off and then find a good spot in your interior to display it. So let's see, I think right here is probably a good spot. Boom, there you go. Now that you've got that all installed, you can begin with the shift boot install. Just gonna take it out here. Here's our new boot. Hopefully you guys like this fabric. It matches the blue TT. Got the LED lights. Here's a look from the inside. Alright, your first step is going to be to put your reverse lockout through your boot, or your knob through your boot. I'm just going to pop it in there and then slide this over the shift rod. You're going to want to make sure, if you have a single seam boot, you're going to want to make sure this seam is directly in the back. Pop that on there. Don't forget any of the small bits and pieces. And now I'll install the shift knob. Now that the knob's installed, I'm going to go ahead and attach the boot to the lower part of the knob, or the reverse lockout. So I'll do that by folding the boot inside out, making sure that line is in the back. And then you'll take one of your zip ties, find the spot on the reverse lockout or shift rod that you want to attach it to, and wrap the zip tie around there. You're going to want to try to keep this nub at the back with that seam that's back there. So let's tighten this. Once that's all tightened and installed, I'm going to go ahead and cut the zip tie. Alright, so once you have the boot attached and installed to your shift knob, you're going to install the LEDs. So your LEDs are going to come like this. You're going to get a strip and a power source. Here they are. I'll unwind these. And when you take the adhesive backing off of these, you don't want to take all of the backing off. Just take off as much as you need as you go. So I'll go ahead and get this peeled and start wrapping it around the shift rod. So you're going to want to start with the end in the back, up on the top of your boot. So let me zoom in here for you guys. So I'm going to go under the boot onto the metal and put this here, and then I'm just going to start wrapping it around. Tight loops. Now that the LEDs are all securely adhesive to this reverse lockout, you're just going to want to do some loose wraps all the way until you get to the bottom. Alright, and there we go. Now you've got to figure out how to get power to the LEDs, so I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do that right now. Alright, hopefully you guys can hear me over there, but what we're going to do now is we're going to try to power these LED lights, and we want to do this by running the power source under the trim pieces so that they can connect beneath the boot in this hole down here. So when I'm going to do this, what I want to do is I want to look around at my trim pieces and see where I might be able to run this wire into the trim so that it connects under the boot. So up here at the front, there's some spots that I could definitely do this. I just don't think it would look the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over here on the side. Maybe there's a spot over here. It does look like I can do it over here as well. But what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do it up here above the boot. There is a piece of the trim I can take out very easily so that I can access below the boot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and take this out. And then I'm going to run the wire under this trim piece so that it connects to the boot. I'm going to run it up and I'm going to plug it into the USB slot here on my radio. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so what I did there is I took a corner of the trim piece away. That way it would just be easier for the power wire to squeeze through there without it getting pinched. So now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and run the power wire down through there and hopefully connect it below my boot. So it's right here, I just got to get my fingers on it. Alright, so here's the cord all run through the trim here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and make sure this is plugged into the USB so I know I have enough wire. There we go. So that should be plenty of slack there. And now I'm going to try to pop this trim piece back into place. There we go. Now that's back in, and now our power wire is here, so we're just going to connect the power wire to the LEDs. You're going to want to make sure the arrows on both the power wire and the LEDs line up when you plug them in. And boom. It does not hurt to put zip ties around this connection or the LEDs at the top of the boot. I'm just going to run that down in there, and now that's pretty much hidden, so I can close this Nice. And now I can get on with installing the shift boot now that the LEDs are under here. But first I'm gonna plug the LEDs in, or I'm gonna power the car on and make sure that the LEDs are plugged in and working. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go, those LEDs turned on. And they're fully adjustable on my phone, so once I have the boot installed, I'll go ahead and mess around with those with you guys. But now I'm going to show you guys how to install the shift boot. Alright, so now that I have the LEDs installed, receiving power, and the boot installed to the shift knob, I'm going to go ahead and finalize this install by installing the boot. So I'm going to first start by unfolding it, bringing it down, and in this car I'm going to need to line up these circles in the boot with these circles on the car. There's one. Alright, so there you go. Now you've got the shift boot installed, the LED lights installed, the power for the LED lights installed, and you should be ready to go. So now I'm going to bring you guys in here. We're going to test out how this works. Alright, so now I have the lights installed, the boot installed, and it's all powered. So let's make sure everything works, and I'll show you guys how to use it. Alright, so there we go. I've got it set to blue right now. You can see right here there's a bunch of different color options. You can do really anything you want. I'm just going to keep it on blue because this is a blue boot and a blue car. There's also styles. So I'll go on here, do rainbow pulsating. Turn up the speed. Now it's changing colors for you guys. And I'm just going to go back and select blue. You can change the brightness on that. And that's basically it. Hopefully you guys liked the install video. I appreciate you hanging around until the end. Make sure to like and subscribe and check out Slammed Shiftboots. Until next time, peace out.